Oh, that's like really bright. Okay. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Ba.Bl. I'm Xochitl, MLPZ. I don't have a lot of makeup on today. I have a class in about an hour or something. And I'm eating cheese. I love cheese. Don't let anybody tell you can't eat what you want. You can dance at any weight, at any age, at any challenge, anything, right? Number one. But today I wanted to talk about business. I was just talking to myself for like an hour and going over, we do that, podcasters, YouTubers, talk to ourselves for long periods of time. Usually people write it, probably. I didn't write any of my points down, but I'm going to try to get through this, see if I can remember all the things that I was saying. It's really hot in this room. I just showered. So business. Going into business, I sell shoes. There's good ways to do business. I feel like there's good ways to do business, bad ways to do business. In this industry, there's a problem, I think. There's so many dance teachers, and people always talk about how being a dance teacher is really hard and they don't make a lot of money. And I've met some dance teachers who are doing really well. My dance teachers are doing really well. And there's a couple of reasons for that. So you started dance as a dance teacher in a franchise or something like that. They start you at a very low level for training, $15, $16 at the lowest, I think, depending on where you live. But part of the problem is the way that they do business, or that they don't know how to do business. So you could go to school for dance. They'll teach you all about the dance industry, but they don't actually teach you how to do business. They don't teach you customer service or anything anything else that you need to know, because if you get a job with a franchise or you want to open your own, be a franchisee, the franchise has its own corporation, CEOs, people that will tell you what to do, things that they'll just give you to use on the internet and stuff like that. You don't have to know much of anything. And all of this stuff that they do is pretty easy, is what I was finding. Hey, like, this stuff is easy for me. Although I'm still working through some of the stuff. I'm trying to make it work and going through understanding how it does and how it doesn't, and why I didn't get this week and why I got that last week, kind of a thing. But I feel like part of the business of dance teaching is more than just being a good dancer. You could be a world champion and not get enough students to pay the bills. And there's a lot of reasons for that. So franchises really know what they're doing, right? They have people in there that went to school for international business, etc. But dancers kind of just rely on their skills sometimes. And they don't want to be paid. They ask for a lot of money because ballroom is really expensive. And there's like a minimum that they want to make, which is really, really high. So they charge a lot so that they don't have to have like 50,000 students a month. But they don't offer quite as much as maybe a bigger franchise would. So there's reasons why people consider them not the competition, and some people consider them the biggest competition. Not the competition because they have their own competitions, their own shows. It's a private club. But competition because they get most of the ballroom students, even though they don't have the better dancers. So you can't just be like giving lessons and having your competitive advertising or your selling point just being my self-worth. I'm charging this much because that's what I'm worth, my self-worth. That's what it's worth. I have all of these championships. That's what I'm worth. People don't care. They want it. They want more for their money, basically. But there's competitive dancers who will just go for that. They'll just, oh yeah, like that's what I want. But if you've started out at a franchise, you don't necessarily want to see an independent teacher after that because you're getting so much more. Excuse me. The classes are not the only thing you get with a franchise. So much more that they offer that isn't even something you pay for or take classes in. So the amount of confidence you get is because of the amount of shows you'll be in. They give you the opportunity to showcase your latest dance every week and practice it socially every week, once or twice a week. And at every social event, sometimes it's twice a week, you have the opportunity to perform. You could choose to take that opportunity or not. And there's different things like that. The entertainment value. If you want to be in the entertainment business, you can learn a lot about it through those franchises because they have all the business skills to make themselves very popular on YouTube, social media. So I have a really good independent dance teacher, Dan, who does everything I ask. He says yes to everything. When I went to him, I was like, I do this at Arthur Murray. Would you do this with me? And he goes, yes, yes to everything. Yes to this, yes to that, yes to the next thing, and the next thing, and the next thing. You know what? You could post all of your dance lessons online, the whole thing, if you wanted to. I don't care. And when he said that, I said that you're giving yourself too much. You're giving of yourself too much because at that point it's bad for business. And I refused to do that. I was like, I'll post some videos, but I'm not going to post our full lesson because people won't want to pay you. They'll just want to watch my YouTube for free and get the same thing. They can't be competitive with it, but they won't be like calling you asking for lessons. So he saw some benefit that those would just be social dancers, people who don't care to be competitive, watch around the world, etc. Yeah, but you're just giving stuff away for free, and that's not really good. So I don't do that, even though he did give me permission. I'm sorry, I'm not going to do that for you. But I do post. My whole thing about my YouTube is to be funny, comedic. There's some comedic value to what I do. It's not just a whole lot of dancing. You're learning something, but in a fun way. And I like doing that. I feel like at first he was kind of embarrassed. He wanted me to take it more seriously. And I take it really, really seriously. But part of what I'd like to teach when I'm teaching, and in teacher training, when I'm teaching, is what I've learned from the bigger franchises so that I have just as much to offer. I would say that that's probably the biggest way I could compete. And not that I want them as competition. I don't think that it is. I'm one of the people that doesn't think that it is, but that I understand that people will be looking for a cheaper way to go and just go, well, no, because you really don't get as much. So you have to offer as much and be willing to offer as much and be very similar in the way that you teach, or be more, And so Dan does all the same things, the videos, the competitions, showcases. We were doing shows together in a salsa group, and then the salsa group is no longer together because he changed studios. So, but it's all the same, getting the same thing. And I would say to an independent dance teacher who's new that you can make more money. I'm not, I was a part of SAI for a little while. You can look that up. Trying to learn about dance industry and business together. That's a good company if you want to start as a dancer, how to get more students, etc. I'm not being paid by them, but it's really good. It's a really good system, I think. Let's see. So the dance teachers can be a little competitive like that by copying the franchises and what they do. You shouldn't be giving this away for free, even. But that's, I know a dance teacher that's doing that. She went to another studio to get a job and she used to work at Arthur Murray, so she took all the Arthur Murray information and started giving it to the new studio so that they could get more students and be more competitive with them. But you're supposed to do it on your own, because when you go into a new studio to get a job, different studios have different philosophies, different ways of doing business, different way they like to have their business. They already have it sort of set in stone. Not a lot they want to change. So if you come in trying to make all the changes, people will start to hate you. But you can certainly copy it as an independent dance teacher to get more students and keep them. But there's the issue of competitive versus social dancers. A lot of independent teachers make most of their money at competitions. A lot of their money at competitions. Because people come back for more lessons for that training. They'll spend like $1,000 on training for that lesson, for that competition, and then they'll pay for the competition. So it's a big part of it. But not everybody is a competitive dancer. And you don't want to necessarily turn people away. No, you're social. I don't want you to learn my student. So, what happens is at a dance studio that's already put together between social and competitive dancers, there's a lot of this going on. A lot of animosity. People start to not like each other for whatever reasons. Competitive doesn't make any sense. I have never experienced so much mental shit with truly competitive people as much as I have with social dancers. They like claw at you when you're too good at something. Competitive dancers sort of just leave you alone. They want to keep their shit together. Yeah. This is how I've experienced it. Maybe different for other people. But they kind of want to just keep their stuff together and do the best they can do. I'm affected by other things on the dance floor. I don't know where it comes from, but it's all about how you get through it and that you get through it, I think. But there's a lot of stuff that happens between social and competitive dancers. Social people like to act like they're competitive, or they think you're stuck up or something. I don't know. That's been happening to me, or that has happened with other people as well. And it's the reason why Dan left the other studio. He was like, okay, well, I'm out of here, you know? But so if you're going to have both as an independent teacher, you have to teach better. You have to teach in a way that keeps them from being like that. And part of my dance experience, most of my ballroom dance experience to date has come from Wesley, who I think is different from most teachers at Arthur Murray. He's just one in his own. There's not anybody else like him. And he has like his own philosophy and his own way that he likes to do things. He likes to have a lot of fun. He thinks dancing should be fun, right? That's a big part of it, but he's also got a very competitive nature. And when you say that you're gonna be, you want to compete, you want to go to competitions, and he's gonna be your pro-am teacher, he's gonna be there, your partner, he flips a switch. He's a different person. Suddenly he's very serious. Tell you gotta take it serious. If you don't take it as seriously as I need you to, you can take lessons with somebody else. He's very strict, but that being said, the lessons start, and if you're doing well, his fun loving nature comes back out, and you realize it can be fun to be competitive. It doesn't have to be like a serious bitchy experience. So I learned that from him, and I feel like Dan has a great sense of humor, but he's just a little bit more serious about it. I think because he's been put through a lot of hell with some social dance groups that he was just like, you know what? I have people who are serious about this. I can't be dealing with the nonsense. Well, the problem there is working at a studio that doesn't share your own philosophy. And Dan did not share the same philosophy as the rest of the people in that studio. That's a big thing about it. And you have to like find the right place for you if you're going to be considered a leader in a dance studio as an independent teacher. So that's rough. There's a lot of like tough mentality that goes into being an independent dance teacher. They kind of spread it on into their dancers, and that's why you get that feeling of like stuck upness, and because they're tough, they've gone through a lot. It's a lot. It doesn't, it's just dancing. It's a lot. It's a lot. People put you through the hoops, and it can be really stressful at times, but when you're good enough, people treat you that way. Other people who recognize it and understand and appreciate it. When I'm around competitive dancers who are at a higher level, I understand it, I appreciate it, I respect their space, and I try just not to be the bothersome nincompoop that doesn't know what she's doing yet, So I stay out of their way. But people made fun of me a lot when I was in the beginning stages of my dancing. I went to one showcase and I decided I wanted to be competitive because I wanted to be a teacher. I felt it was important to win competitions, have that underneath your belt before you start teaching, because people will want to compete with you. And you have to have that experience. So I went to one showcase and just to experience it. What is this like? What am I getting myself into? And I went into it with an open mind. They gave you feedback at that particular showcase. I asked for feedback and I got written feedback from all the judges. There was judges for some reason. It was a showcase, just look what I can do. And the judges are there. And I don't know why they have judges, but they have judges. And so they gave me feedback on my dancing, and I got first place in all of my dancing. I just had been there for like 2 months, and they were bumping me up levels. I'm still at a full bronze level. They're putting me in silver now, but it depends on the teacher I'm with. Some teachers want my technique to be better, and some teachers are like, you're ready. You've been doing this too long. We'll just, whatever. If you want to compete in this thing, you have to be here. So we're going to get you there. And so it all depends on what your plans are with each teacher, what they'll do with you. So what was I saying about? Oh, so the competitions. I went in to a showcase and I decided, okay, I'm definitely competing. Now I'm competing. Okay, there's no question about it. I can do this. So people laughed at me because I was taking it so they were like, we're just kidding. I hated that attitude. I mean, I wanted to shove, like football shove people. What do you call it? What do you call it? I don't even know. I wanted to like run people into the ground because it was so annoying. These are my friends now, though. I'm still friends with them. I talk to them on Facebook all the time. But I was just like, oh my God, I'm serious. Like, I'm serious. And it's not funny to me to have to deal with these things. I need some support, So with that franchise, I went through a lot of hell being competitive, but it wasn't because of my competitors. It was because of some of the teachers who were not very good and new to dance pretty much compared to me. And it was because of social dancers who were just not as competitive. So the negative energy, I never made me want to quit. I just really realized the difference, and I just knew that there was nobody else around me where I could go besides Wesley. Wesley was like the only guy. I had to go to another studio to get teacher training. If I want to work at a franchise, it's a good idea to get an DCA licensed. I don't know if I want to work there anymore. I don't know. Yeah. But just to be a dance teacher, I decided to go somewhere else for training. And I met Dan instantaneously. I think I watched him for 20 seconds or less, and I could tell he was talented. So my mom and I were like, who is this person? Because he wasn't on the register. He wasn't one of the teachers that they advertised. So we didn't know who he was, and I met him at a restaurant at a little Mexican fast food place down the street, and he told us who he was, and I was like, okay, like, let me see what these things are like. And I did it again. I went to one and just showed a little bit, not competing. And I decided to take lessons with him and take it a little bit more seriously. So I was like, maybe this is what I need. This is what I need to learn. This might be a better environment for me. And what Dan was trying to create, the type of environment that Dan was trying to create, was not all like copacetic with the rest of the studio that he was in. So he had to leave, and I go, well, I want to go where he's going, because what his vision is what I want to experience. And so I just followed him. I'm still taking lessons with him, obviously. But that's how that started. Anyway, the whole point about the business is that you kind of have to know. Well, I learned about what didn't work for him there, how he could have made it work if he wanted to, and then why it didn't, and who's still there and why they're still there, etc. So it is not I'm part of a performance team. It's not my dream to have a dance company that auditions people and just takes anybody who will say yes for the money. Sort of part of the performance team that I'm in right now, and really realizing that people will compete knowing they're not going to win, almost on purpose. I don't understand that completely. Really trying, but I don't. So your philosophies have to be the same. And then also I will say a little thing that you learn through competition, the attitude that dancers have, the confidence, not just confidence, but why they are the way that they are. People make fun of it, people love it, people hate it, whatever. But there's reasons. You sort of learn what that is, because when you're on the floor, I will say, just giving some advice, like I know everything. Dancers are really focused. Successful dancers are really focused. They're focused on themselves and their bodies, what they're doing on the dance floor, and nothing can get in their way. They're just completely undistracted by everything else around them. So when I went out there, I wasn't looking at all the other dancers that I was competing with. I wasn't interested in them. I was focused on myself. I didn't win first place. For other reasons, different reasons, I'll go through that someday. But so competitively, you learn things like where that focus comes from and how to get it. And you don't learn it when you're out there. You learn it by watching them. So you have to sit down and watch everybody else for a couple minutes. And then when they win, you go, oh, because that person was doing this and doing that. But you can't, it's not something you can learn watching the WDSF, which is not what I do. I do WDC, but the WDSF on the internet, these great big grand competitions. You can't learn it watching them because you don't know everything they're going through backstage. You don't know everything they're going through when they go to the bathroom to cut their nose or whatever, you know. But when you're there, you can see it all and you can hear it all. So if you want to be a dance teacher, it's something you have to experience. It's something you learn by watching other people. I went to the World Salsa Summit. I love watching salsa competitions, not just participating. Part of the experience is that you get to sit there and watch your competitors because they're solo performances. They're not all on the dance floor at the same time. It's too much to watch. It's one at a time. So you can see the couples by themselves and all of the people after you. Not before you, but after you. You can watch them in their focus, what they're doing differently than you did and other people. It's not just about the dancing and the choreography, but as a dancer, you look for things like how do they get their focus? What are they focusing on? What do they, those kinds of things influence the next time the next time that you go out there. And I'll never forget this one girl that I saw at the World Salsa Summit, first time I was there. She didn't win first place, but she did get a prize. She was placed, and maybe she was, I don't remember actually, but she was one of the best. She was the fastest feet out there. One of the better outfits, I think. It wasn't too much, it wasn't too little. I think she was Italian, but I don't remember her name. And it was the funniest thing because she went out there. She was so focused. Sometimes we look angry, we look really angry. And but part of ballroom is knowing when to put a smile on. And she was just like mad. She was mad. I was like, oh my God, like what is she going through? But there was a point where she had to be really quick on her feet, really quick feet. She was just saying the F word. She was cussing a lot. Fuck, 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 fuck. And she was like angry. Her face was angry while she was saying it. And I just thought that's why she didn't get first place, because the judges could practically hear her. I was sitting front row, first seat, front row, right in front of her. And she just looked at me and smiled because she could tell that I noticed. So I was like, I'm not the only one that saw this. I am not the only one that saw this. But it was so funny because she got through it. She did really well. Timing was great. Everything was great. And so I'll just never forget that one performance. It was so funny to me. But it's something that I learned from, that a lot of different things. And you take what you will from each person in your own way, what that means to you, what it does for you. I can do this, I can do that. But people will remember you, and that's part of it. How much fun you are to watch, how memorable you are, the difficulty, not just the difficulty or the techniques, but yeah. And actually the Italy group that year was really cool. I continue to see them all on Instagram doing their videos, and they probably went this year, last year, whatever. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to afford to go to the World Salsa Summit this year. It's really expensive for me because I live nowhere near Miami. people save up for it all year, and that's like the only thing they do. I do so much, and everything's out of my pocket, out of my own pocket, and I don't know. I am trying to go to New York right now. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it. I want to go to LA. I want to go, let's see. Where else am I going? I wanted to go to London. I don't think I'm going to make that one either. So we'll see what happens in the future. I just wanted to talk a little bit about the business aspect of this whole thing because I'm starting to go into business here. And if you have any added advice or any comments like that's true, that's not true, I know a guy, please let me know. Put it down in the comments, and I'd love to hear what you guys have to say about all this and what your experience is as competitors or social dancers with competitors. If you think I'm full of crap, let me know. Let's talk about it. Also, we'd love to answer any questions that you have about Wes or Dan or their show or any other thing on the website. Please feel free to email me or leave me a message here on the Ba.Bl YouTube channel. I will see you guys later, maybe next week. Bye-bye.